Part 1 documented the institutional drip, the Pentagon, the hearings, the credentialed witnesses, the carefully bounded claims. Disclosure is a managed process from inside the apparatus. Part 2 covers the other half of the same operation. Because while the institutional drip ran, something else was being built in parallel. An industry. Same extraction model as the contractor class this series has documented from the beginning. Different product. Dr. Stephen Greer, emergency room physician, founded the Center for the Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence in 1990, founded the Disclosure Project in 2001, produced documentaries, hosted events, trained consciousness practitioners in something called CE5, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, human-initiated contact with extraterrestrial intelligence, through meditation, through intention, through guided protocol. The Disclosure Project's 2001 press conference at the National Press Club featured over 20 witnesses with claimed government and military backgrounds. Each testified to direct knowledge of suppressed extraterrestrial contact, recovered craft, and cover-up operations. The testimony was dramatic. The witnesses were named. The documentation was sparse. Greer's framework covers every possible alien configuration: benevolent visitors, malevolent visitors, interdimensional beings, consciousness-based entities, ancient civilizations. Every bracket is accounted for. Every data point fits somewhere in the system. A framework that explains everything equally well explains nothing specifically. What it does do is sell documentaries, retreats, CE5 training materials, speaking engagements, the infrastructure of a movement built around the premise that contact is happening and that Greer has the protocol to facilitate it. The alien narrative doesn't just protect classified hardware programs, it generates revenue. Jeremy Corbell, documentary filmmaker, self-described contemporary artist and filmmaker, became prominent through a series of UAP-related documentaries: Bob Lazar, Area 51, and Flying Saucers. Most notably, Corbell became a fixture in the mainstream disclosure circuit. Military contacts, leaked footage, access that implied credibility. Recently promoting a colleague's new website, capitalizing on the disclosure brand he built. The documentary filmmaker becoming a disclosure entrepreneur. This is not unique to Corbell. This is a pattern, a credibility event, military footage, congressional testimony, a press conference, creates a platform. The platform gets monetized. The monetization requires maintaining the narrative that generated the platform, which requires more credibility events, which generate more platform, which gets monetized. The loop doesn't need the narrative to be true, it needs the narrative to be sustained. What Corbell sells is access to the edge of what's being disclosed. The suggestion that he's one layer closer to the truth than you are. The product is proximity. The revenue is real. The Monroe Institute, founded by Robert Monroe in 1974. Monroe claimed to have developed techniques for inducing out-of-body experiences, hemisync auto technology, binaural beats designed to synchronize brain hemispheres and facilitate altered states of consciousness. The CIA was interested. The Monroe Institute became connected to the government's own consciousness research program, Project Stargate, the program that ran remote viewing as an intelligence asset from 1978 through at least 1995. The Monroe Institute still operates. Residential programs, retreats, certifications, Gateway Voyage, the foundational program, Lifeline, guidelines, outreach, a curriculum that extends from introductory altered states to advanced consciousness exploration, A decades-long enterprise built on the promise of access to something beyond ordinary perception. The promise is the product. The documented history of what the CIA did with consciousness research, how they used it, how they managed the people who participated, and what they actually learned, is a different conversation from what the Monroe Institute markets. Joe McMoneagle, remote viewer, military intelligence, one of the original participants in Project Stargate, considered by the program's proponents to be among its most gifted practitioners. McMoneagle tells a story from his early years in the program. He was placed in a room and given a target: Mars. Not present-day Mars, Mars as it appeared approximately 1 million years ago. He was asked to describe what he perceived. He described civilizations, structures, beings, tall, thin, humanoid, evidence of an ancient inhabited world. When the session ended, he was taken into another room. He was shown photographic film. The images matched his descriptions with apparent precision. He was told the film came from the satellite probe sent to Mars in the late 1970s. His remote viewing had been confirmed. He had perceived what the satellite had photographed. McMoneagle accepted this. He built a career on it. He is still in the field, still citing that session as evidence to confirm remote viewing capability. Here's the question the story raises. A young man eager to demonstrate his abilities is given an open-ended target, Mars, 1 million years ago, and asked to describe what he perceives. He produces a vivid description: civilizations, structures, tall beings. He is then shown images that match. Where did those matching images come from? The satellite photographs of Mars taken in the late 1970s are documented. They show a rocky, barren surface. They do not show civilizations, structures, or evidence of tall beings, which means the images McMoneagle was shown either were not satellite photographs or were interpreted in a way that made his descriptions appear to match. In either case, a young man with something to prove. An institution with an interest in confirming that his abilities were real and therefore useful. Images produced in the room next door that matched what he'd said. McMoneagle was not lying. He was managed. He still is, except now he manages himself. The remote viewing industry did not stay in classified facilities. It migrated to the internet, to YouTube, to podcasts, to social media followings built on the promise of expanded perception. Elizabeth April, self-described channel, psychic, and cosmic being, offers remote viewing sessions, has publicly claimed to have remote viewed 3I Atlas, the interstellar object detected approaching the solar system in 2025. Her account: she roamed the corridors of a massive technologically advanced craft. She found it unremarkable. The beings aboard were going about their routines. No methodology, no controls, no verifiable claim. The product is the same one the Monroe Institute has sold for 50 years. Access to perception beyond ordinary experience. The mechanism is updated. Personal brand, social media platform, paid sessions. Remote viewing isn't a capability that got democratized. It's an aesthetic that got monetized. Map the disclosure ecosystem from above and what you see is this: the institutional track, Pentagon programs, congressional hearings, military witnesses, official acronyms, each element adding apparent legitimacy to the suggestion that something is being revealed. The commercial track, authors, filmmakers, consciousness practitioners, remote viewers, retreat operators, course sellers, each element monetizing the same suggestion. Both tracks serve the same function: They keep the conversation inside the alien frame. They keep the human explanation, the classified technology lineage, the paperclip-to-contractor arc, the non-human biologics as manufactured biological systems, outside the frame of serious consideration. Because the alien narrative is not just a cover story for classified hardware. It's a product category. It generates institutional budget. It generates congressional testimony. It generates documentary distribution deals. It generates retreat enrollments in remote viewing certifications and lifetime memberships in organizations devoted to preparing the public for contact. The people running the commercial tracks are not all running a deliberate operation. Some of them genuinely believe what they're saying, but the function of what they're doing is identical to what the institutional track accomplishes. They are monetizing confusion, and the confusion is the point. Same extraction model, different inventory. Operation Paperclip extracted human capital. The contractor class extracted public money. The political class extracted accountability. The disclosure industry extracts belief. And the mechanism is identical every time. Take something real, the genuine existence of unexplained phenomena, classified programs, documented experiments. Use it as a foundation. Build a structure on top of it that leads away from the human explanation and toward the alien one. And collect on both ends. Part 3 answers the question Part 1 left open. Why now? Why 2017? What changed? And what does the managed drip accomplish that the old silence couldn't? Full episodes of the Echoes of Disclosure series are on Substack and First Light Archive. The truth they hid wasn't alien. It was human. It was always human.